Hello, good morning.
Morning, Andrew.
Hi, how are you?
How was you? Sorry, I thought it was Andrew Spencer. I'm good. I'm good. Well, you're on. I better move into place.
Fine, that's fine. I get mixed up all the time.
Okay.
I don't mind being mixed up with Andrew.
What?
I
When
won't,
they mix
I
you up
won't,
with a girl, they get upset? What?
I won't tell you the others that I would get upset about. All right.
morning and welcome to our new students. Welcome to your orientation of the Mona School of Business and Management. We are happy to be here with you today. In fact, as we are about to take you through your journey, I wanted to greet you and let you know that there's significant value, absolute significant value in the journey you're about to pursue. At the end of that process, there will be value in your degree, but the journey is just as important as the outcome. So to tell you a little bit more and to give you introductions, I want to introduce you to the leader of this wonderful world-class school. His name is Dr. David McBean. He's the executive director. I invite him at this moment to bring you remarks and welcome. Dr. McBean.
Good morning, students and faculty and other stakeholders, and welcome to the MSBM orientation. This is indeed a momentous orientation, as you will be the first totally virtual orientation. As we traverse these difficult times, there is still opportunity and there is still a lot of enjoyment and learning that can be had in your degree. So on behalf of the Mona School of Business and Management, I would like to welcome you to the University of the West Indies for the academic year 2020-21. So at this point, I'll go into my presentation, and if you bear with me here. And just to keep in mind, this is likely to happen at some point in technology, but what we do, we persevere. So here we go. So I'd like to quickly speak to you about core values, because at the end of the day, we're not just about the technical part of education, but in having a transformative experience within the university. So we are innovative, because as business leaders of the future, you have to innovate. Excellence goes without saying, and I'd like to pause a bit on this. Excellence is a habit, not a destination. So we expect you to be forever striving to be your best. Transparency speaks to what we do and how we do. So we promise to be transparent in that whatever it is that we are exercising or doing or whatever you do with us will be very clear. Civic responsibility is very important, especially at this time. And it speaks to our responsibility to each other. And particularly with COVID-19 and the spike, it means wearing masks. And as you can see, when I came up, I had my mask on and then removed it, because a mask, by wearing a mask, protects you from me and vice versa. And finally, integrity. This is one thing that we will not compromise on. We have to show that we have high morals, high ethics. And this is what integrity is all about. So this speaks to the core values of how we both will expect to relate to each other. Very quickly, our vision is to be an excellent, globally recognized business school rooted in the Caribbean. And what this is saying is that we work to global standards. We may be Caribbean, but we make it relevant to the Caribbean, but they are global standards. And that's very important, because while we're here to support you, we're not here in the business of giving lies or great inflations. It's very important that we keep that commitment to you to be excellent, and you keep that commitment to us. And our mission is to advance learning, create knowledge, and foster innovation for the positive transformation of Caribbean enterprises through the development of world-class business professionals and research-based solutions. The first part of your journey is to be world-class business professionals, to be able to function in the world of work. We're a business school and we don't apologize for that. Research-based solutions will refer to how we infuse these into your teaching and learning, and hopefully for those of you who wish to be academics to come to be with us to advance an academic career. So, a little bit about the school. We're internationally ranked, and you'll learn more about this in your journey. We're accredited for MBA and Ed University ranks some of our programs. We have highly qualified staff. And again, I want to emphasize this. Most of us, like myself, are trained at the UWI, a top 4% university, but we've also gone to other highly ranked universities globally, and that's the quality of staff that we bring to you. We have high achieving graduates. If you look at the top 20 firms in Jamaica, many of them are headed up by our graduates. For example, Don Webby at Grace Kennedy, among others. We've had many awards and recognition, and that's where we talk about global excellence, which you mentioned earlier. We do a lot of research, and research is important because it drives our teaching. And it's not just recognized, but utilized both in our UA research days, as well as things like the NCB research project. And we do partnerships with global organizations, the World Economic Forum, which does global rankings of countries. We are their local partners, and the Project Management Institute is another, but we have many linkages and organizations. So this is our commitment, and this is what we do to ensure that your degree is ranked globally. I very quickly want to introduce now our academic leadership team, and I'll refer you to our website, and you can browse for the faculty and leadership team. So the list is there, but it's probably better if I put out the pictures, or maybe you can't see that right. So let me go back. So Deputy ED for the MBAs is Dr. Lila Rao-Graham. Our Deputy ED Undergraduate Affairs is Dr. Andrew Spencer, who is the MC and who will speak a bit more about how to navigate your time at the university. Our Academic Director for the MSCs and also the Unit Head of what we call MIBES is Dr. India Minter-Coy. Our Unit Head Decision Sciences is Dr. Charlotte Donalds. Our Unit Head Finance and Accounting is Shirley-Ann Eaton. Our Unit Head Behavioral Sciences and General Management, Dr. Noel Coyle. And our Director for the Center of Excellence, which straddles two roles between the academic side and what we call the company side, is Dr. Maurice McNaught. And those from left to right at top, as I see them, there's myself, Dr. Lila Rao-Graham, Dr. Andrew Spencer, Dr. Minter Coy. On the bottom row is Ms. Shirley-Ann Eaton, Dr. Noel Cowell, Dr. Charlotte Donalds, and Dr. Maurice McNaught. We also have a company, and I've just put this up here, and that runs the affairs of the graduate school. This is more so for information because this generally does not affect the undergraduates. One innovation we have are the executives in residence, and these are business leaders who form a bridge between the business school, and they will do seminars and other activities in the undergraduates to make sure that what you're doing is relevant to the world of work. And again, just very quickly, are the photographs there? And in the interest of time, I want to go through. So, our commitment to you is world-class quality and delivery of the teaching and learning. And our goal is to transform the students into graduates that have the ability to be creative and innovative, to possess strong interpersonal skills, and to excel in the region and be global citizens. Because that's the world we live in. We are no not an island isolated. We have to exist in a global environment. What's your recipe for success? So let me start. You're now in university, so no more spoon feeding. And this is meant just to say that you have to do beyond what you're taught in class. When you go to a tutorial, the examples you're given doesn't mean that you are going to see the exam questions, even if it's the same lecture. You have to read beyond the class notes. And I would encourage you as much as possible to acquire your textbooks, do the research. The internet is a wonderful thing. And most importantly, think, don't regurgitate. If you regurgitate, you're likely to get a C, quite possibly a D. If you think and bring critical analysis to your exams, the sky's the limit. And that's what we want you to do. Most importantly, your student handbook is your academic guide. Not your friends, not the person down the road, not what you believe, not what your parents said. We've had some experiences of students who, because they didn't follow the handbook, came to time for graduation, did a lot of courses, but they weren't the courses for the degree. And so instead of being able to graduate in their final year, they've had to spend extra time to go to do the courses that they need. There are very strict academic rules around this. And many times, while we can sympathize, we cannot change what the rules are, because once we certify you in a degree, we're certifying you whether to other universities if you go on to further study, or to employers that you have mastered a particular course of study. So it's very important. Follow the rules, and in this time, particularly health and safety. I can't emphasize enough that COVID is not a joke. So if you are coming on, have to follow sanitization rules, and it could mean the difference between you continuing in your university education or not. Why is this? Because we have to keep each other safe, and we cannot allow the staff in particular and your fellow students to be put at risk unnecessarily. And lastly, have fun. University is about fun. Yours will be more virtual than before, but you are the digital generation. So if anybody was programmed to excel and thrive in a virtual world, it's you. Do some extracurricular activities, join a society, because when you go out into the world of work, they're not only looking for the class of the degree, they're looking for how rounded you were at university. So to you, the COVID generation, welcome to the UWI. We look forward to having you and to giving you great education, world class, and hopefully in 3 years, all of you will be graduated with a good degree. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. McBean. I quite liked the presentation by our ED just now. He was very clear about a few things. And one of those things was that you are in a high quality establishment, internationally renowned. You're a special group of students. In fact, you're among the elite. There are many who would want to be a part of the Mona School of Business and Management at this point, who do not have that opportunity for various reasons. So consider yourself to be elite, take your place very seriously, and you'll have to be very deliberate about your academic journey. As Dr. McBean mentioned, you do not have the luxury of not being deliberate, because it could mean extra time, it could mean a number of other things. And I've always said from my own academic journey that it's too expensive to fail, and it's too ordinary to just be average. So I'm going to encourage you on your journey to think very carefully about how you treat your privileged position. So I'm going to take you through a presentation that will guide you in terms of an academic overview. I didn't want to introduce myself before because I knew that Dr. McBean would do some introductions, but just to say that my field is tourism. I'm a senior lecturer in the area of tourism management, and I'm also Deputy Executive Director responsible for the undergraduate programs, which means your problems become my problems. So I'm going to take you through a little bit about the structure and what to expect in terms of your academic journey. You would have recognized that you got packages. I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping first. At the end of this general session, we're going to ask you to go over to the various units of which you are a part. So if you are doing a degree in entrepreneurship or tourism or marketing, you should find yourself in the MIBES breakout room. If you are doing operations management, you should find yourself in the decision sciences and information systems breakout room. If you're doing management studies or HR, human resource management, you should be in the behavioral sciences breakout session. And if you're doing accounting, you should find yourself in the finance and accounting unit. Also, there's a joint program for banking and finance with the Department of Economics that would also fall in that breakout group. All right, so to take you through the journey, and really what I'm going to be doing today in a very succinct way is to just walk you through the structure, what is expected from majors, what's expected if you're to do a minor, and share some additional information with you as well. So a degree, for all intents and purposes, is a 90 credit program, right? So in order to graduate, you will need to have your 90 credits. Typically, that's broken down 30 level 1 credits and 60 credits between your levels 2 and 3. So, I mean, for those of you who would not have heard the term credit before, usually our courses in the Mona School of Business and Management are 3 credit courses. So it would mean that 30 courses would typically be 90 credits. Most of your courses are 3 credits, and this usually is 3 hours of instruction per week. Normally would be broken down as 2 hours of lecture time and 1 hour of tutorial. You may see some differences in this new dispensation, in this virtual spaces we now have to exist. And Dr. McBean said it quite rightly. You are the generation that has been most digitalized. And so you are the ones who are going to take us into this future. Now, I wanted to share something with you, something known as a level 0 course. And these are courses that do not count towards the 90 credits for your degree, but these are courses that you need to qualify for other courses. So I'll use one example. If you're a tourism management student and you have not done any language, or you have, let's speak Spanish, you will be required to do a level 0 Spanish course to qualify for levels 1 and 2 Spanish, okay? So just a little note for you, and that does not count towards your 90 credits. For majors, you are expected normally to complete 10 core courses, and your handbook is your Bible. The Faculty of Social Sciences has gone to a great extent to ensure that everything that you need is detailed for you in your handbook. So we always say to students, the year you enter a program, that handbook for that year becomes your Bible for your entire journey. So 30 credits, 10 core courses for your majors. And these 10 core courses are usually at levels 2 and 3. And of course, you do what is needed to qualify for those 10 core courses in levels 2 and 3. Welcome to our dean. I saw that he just entered. For a minor, you're usually required to complete 5 courses concentrated in that area, and that's also detailed for you in your handbook. And these courses are usually also at level 2 and level 3. Your electives, this could fall in a number of categories. So your electives could be courses that are not required, but go very nicely with your major. So they complement what you're doing. And these electives could be in the department, in the Mona School of Business and Management, or these electives could be outside of the department, and in some cases outside of the faculty. So your electives are, and we always say that that's why you have to be deliberate about your journey, because your electives are things that should complement what you're doing. They should be things that you're interested in. they should be things that you think will help you in the world of work. Dr. McBean made the point that we don't have the luxury in a business and management school of creating purely theoretical individuals. We want people who are critical thinkers. In fact, the entire university wants that. But in the business and management space, we have to ensure that you hit the ground running. So be very deliberate in selection of your courses. What are the majors offered in our school? We have majors in the following areas: accounting, banking and finance, which is joined with the Department of Economics, chemistry and management, which is joined with the Faculty of Science and Technology. We have an exciting entrepreneurship degree. Finance is also offered at the Western Jamaica campus. We have human resource management. And I mentioned the Western Jamaica campus just now. Shortly, Dr. Prendergast, who's the director of that campus, will come to speak to you about the academic journey in that space. There's management studies, marketing, and tourism management. Not all of these areas, however, offer minors. And it's our intention in this academic year to offer minors in the areas of accounting, management studies, and 2 new minors which are slated to come on stream, one in tourism management and the other in hotel management. Don't worry, you'll get more details about all of these in your breakout sessions, which will be on Orville. A little bit of additional information for you. Some terms you need to be familiar with in your journey. Prerequisites are those courses that you must complete successfully in order to do another course. So there are many courses, for example, in your levels 2 and 3 that have prerequisites. You cannot get into a course without doing these courses. So read the handbook and be very clear on what these prerequisites are. Core requisites are courses that are taken together in a particular semester. So they must be taken together. Also, read through and see what those are. Anti-requisites, and as the prefix would suggest, these are courses that you cannot take together for credit. So also, in getting your academic advice, please be sure to ask questions about this and be clear on these university guidelines. Overrides are some things that you will come to request quite often, many of you. Just to share with you that the intention of overrides is not to circumvent the initial process. Overrides are for exceptional circumstances, cases where a student has to do a particular course in order to complete a particular degree, but for whatever reason, you're getting restrictions on the system, you request an override. I'm sure the faculty officers have gone through some of this with you. And of course, I just wanted to say that certainly we look at a number of things in granting overrides, but one of the key issues for us is the issue of capacity. The Mona School of Business and Management, like any other school, like any other department, like any other institution, would have some restrictions in terms of what we can reasonably handle so that the quality to you or valued customer is not compromised. So bear in mind that multiple requests will come. We will look at these requests case by case and we'll match them against some very objective criteria to determine who is given an override, who is given a change of major. These are things that you need to be aware of. Now, I have additional information here, but I want to just share something very quickly with you. For those students who are interested in pursuing double majors, we have a very clear guideline for that. You are not going to be allowed to do a double major unless you can demonstrate that you have a cumulative GPA of at least 3.0. We do not want you to be overly burdened, and so this is a demonstration to us that you can handle the academic load. The same applies for those wishing to do minors in other areas. We need to know that you can handle the load and that you can manage your space, and so you also have that GPA requirement. So bear that in mind, students, as you go forward. We want your journey to be a seamless one. We want you to understand very upfront, and as I said before, the journey has to be a very deliberate one. I'll share some more with you in a short while. I have question and answer on the slide, but we're going to be taking question and answers in the breakout session. What I want to do at this moment is to continue in the vein of an academic overview and to invite from the Western Jamaica campus, the director, the campus director, Dr. Patrick Prendergast, to share with you at this time.
Good morning and welcome to the University of the West Indies Mona Western Jamaica campus. That is how we usually greet people. Indeed, we are one Mona in 2 locations. And as undergraduates of the Mona School of Business and Management, you are amongst the largest of the population groupings registered with UWI Mona, generally UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus. I'm trying to make sure that you can experience what we're doing here. Welcome to MSBM, welcome to FSS, welcome to UWI Mona WJC, and we say welcome to success. There is really no need for me to repeat the success of Mona in the global, regional, and local higher education space. You've also heard about the MSBM's international accreditation, but I must let you know that at the WJC, we are committed to providing you with the best support possible in ensuring that your experience is consistent with the world-ranking academic excellence for which both UWI and the MSBM are known. We take pride in saying that we inspire excellence. We produce leaders. Excellence and leadership in critical thinking and in research and innovation. We produce inspiring transformational leaders in matters to do with our existence as human beings, in climate change, in global health, in politics, development economics, business, entrepreneurship, and cultural enterprise. So when we say to you, UWI Mona WJC is a place for you to find your gold, we want you to also appreciate that you have accepted the offer to study at a place and a school where the commitment to student success is unshakable. The UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus was established in 2008 with 179 students here in the historic and resilient city of possibilities, Montego Bay. Now, we are just over 900 students at this time. That is roughly, my math is not so good, but around 30% growth over the last 5 years or so. The official student registration at WJC at the end of 2019-2020 academic year was 905, slightly below the 926 of the previous year. But FSS, still growing, ended the year at around 656 students. So you see what I'm talking about. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic though, we remain very, very optimistic about the student registration in this academic year. Based on what we have seen already, the trend is indeed looking good. Now, as I said before, the Mona School of Business and Management is the largest block of students at WJC. And there are 8 undergraduate majors this year and 2 undergraduate programs. As I think Dr. Spencer said it earlier, you need to use your handbook. But note that all the foundation courses are covered, including the Spanish. You will obviously hear more details on each program when you go for academic advising. But if you are in the W11 or W11 as some people call it, if you are in that stream, you are a registered student in W11, you are a registered WJC student. So these are the majors that we have. And as Dr. Spencer mentioned, the banking and financing is being done with the Department of Econ. And again, you will get more details on that in your academic advising. We believe you have made the right choice to pursue higher education study at the UWI. And of course, we're happy to have you as part of the UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus family. This is a campus where integrity and excellence are lived values. And you heard Dr. McBean talking about our core values. We hold true to them. This is a campus where academic success is celebrated, from valedictorians, plural, make that 3 in the last 5 years, to nursing students of the year multiple times. And our debaters continue their dominance of both local, regional, and world championships. Of course, this last semester, just under 60 students made the Dean's List and again with MSBM holding its fair share. You would have also heard about the FSS Honor Society in the general orientation from the Faculty of Social Sciences, and we are very proud of the WJC registered students who make that very elite list each year. So I encourage the returning students to share with the new students their own academic success stories, their own success journey. Let them know that we hold dear the promotion of our campus as a center of academic excellence and a catalyst for sustainable transformation of our society. Our team is indeed committed to the core values that make that experience a positive one for all our students. There is the Office of the Campus Director with IT, bursary, student matters, examinations, in any area of support. You will definitely feel confident that the WJC team is here to support you. There's a library, there are health services, facilities. We have a full team ready to take care of you. See how we're always smiling and just all here. That's the members of my office, and there we are, just ready and waiting to serve you. A special note for you, though, is the MSBM and WJC program team, led by the indefatigable Miss Sandra March. This is a singular, exceptional source of support to which you can turn for tremendous guidance, and from whom you can expect care, compassion, and understanding, but unyielding, firm, and forthright direction as you navigate your academic journey with us. So I say thank you for choosing the UEMONA, and MSBM, and we wish you nothing but the absolute best. This is UEMONA WJC. We say, find your bold. We're bold, we're innovative, diverse, success-driven. You are with UEMONA WJC and the Mona School of Business and Management at WJC. Back to you, Dr. Spencer.
Exciting. Need to take a trip down in a short while. I wanted to just point out, as I heard Dr. Prendergast's presentation, that you will get to meet more of our faculty and support staff in your breakout sessions. We won't introduce them to you now, but I understand that there will be great attendance from our faculty members in the breakout sessions for the various units, so you'll get to meet them. They too are extremely supportive of your journey. As we move forward, I wanted to just say that, listen, this journey, there are people who've taken this journey before you, and there are things that we can learn from individuals who have gone before us. Certainly, the lady who's going to take us through the next activity is someone I have learned a lot from in my own journey. And so you'll be taken through some alumni testimonials by Dr. Ann Crick, who is a senior lecturer in the Behavioral Sciences and General Management Unit. Dr. Crick, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here and to be sharing with you. So we're going to do this in two parts. The first part will be a current lecturer on our campus who is on the Mona campus, the Kingston Mona campus, I should be clear, who is a former student. And then I'm also then going to speak to some graduates as well. So we're going to hear it from a former student lecturer, and then some other graduates. So we have, and I think I'm seeing her there, Miss soon-to-be Dr. Yolanda Hilton, who I'm just going to have a couple questions for her to share with you. This year we thought that it might be more interesting, rather than hear us speak about our experiences, to really have you hear from people who are closer to you. So I'm going to begin, Yolanda, with you just telling us just one or two quick things about yourself.
Good morning. It's great to be here. I am, well, as you mentioned, I'm currently pursuing my doctoral studies at Mona School of Business with the DBA, and I have done my master's and undergraduate studies at UWI. I'm in the unique position of being a lecturer while also being a student. So I'm really happy to share with you and welcome to the incoming class.
So guys, thank you very much. You can see that she really loves UA, right? 3 degrees with us. So, okay, so you mentioned your unique position. Can you say, what would you give us some tips? Because, Dr. Matt Bean and others have mentioned that we're all in a unique experience. First time we're doing this online orientation and so on. What would you say to students who are learning online and are facing some of the challenges that you might face with, you're at home, you're in a crowded space, whatever? I just thought it would be useful to hear you share some things.
Sure. So the truth is, you will survive. It may seem daunting, the thought of going to online learning, but you will survive. But one of the most important things for us to realize is that responsibility is key. When you're in face to face, yes, there's some sense of responsibility, but when you are in your home environment and you're now moved into online, responsibility becomes even more important. And so, one of the first things I would recommend is to have a conversation with your loved ones or whichever family members or friends that you cohabit with. What is the importance of that is communication. I'm sure you're hearing now everybody saying everything you're doing is more, and communication is more. So persons would have known that you're coming to school, but now you are in the same environment. They're basically coming to school with you. And so you would need to have that conversation with them so that everyone happens to be on the same page. Ensure that you find a comfortable area to study as far as possible. And this is where the conversation comes in, because you may not have the space, it possibly is your kitchen and persons will come in and out during the day. So the important thing is to have that conversation so that they respect you in terms of your studying whilst you are also respecting them. I know it was mentioned earlier about the textbook, and we may not really love to read, but reading is key. Read a page a day, get the textbook. So go on OURVLE, which I'm sure you'll soon hear about. It's going to be your best friend.
Yes.
You're going to ensure you get your textbook beforehand and look on the course outline and what's coming up so you can be aware of what's taking place. And also watch the news. I know, yawn, the news, why, but watching the news, reading the news is important. So use your Twitter feed for some good, use your Instagram for some good, follow Jamaica Gleaner, Observer, follow MSBM, ensure that you know what is taking place. And of course, download your slides. So um, one of the things I usually do, I guess this is the old school in me, I like to read like I'm reading a book. So I convert my slides to Word. You will know what works for you. So download the slides, and it's important. You just prepare, prepare, prepare. So everything is in three. You prepare, prepare, prepare. You communicate, communicate, communicate with those around you so that you get everyone in the mindset that school is here now and this is what we are all doing, because it's not even you. Literally everyone in your house hearing, they're a part of the experience as well. So just
Absolutely.
use that to your benefit.
Okay, those are some really great tips, and that's why it's useful to have someone like yourself. Because I hadn't thought about saying I'd say read the Gleaner. You're saying follow your Twitter feed and Instagram, and we really emphasize that, guys, because we try to be very practical, and there's nothing more practical than utilizing what's going on around us. So I just have one other quick question for you. All of this reading preparation, etc., takes a lot of time, and we have other things going on. Some people will be managing a family, people will be trying to balance church, people will be trying to balance their job. Do you have any time management tips or anything that you'd like to share with this incoming student group of students?
Sure. So the truth is, even for me personally, it's challenging to balance time because with the demands of work and school, and in my case, I have a daughter, so a lot, and she's 5. A lot of, well, she just turned 6. So a lot of energy right there, and balancing time is difficult. So you have to know what works best for you. So for example, I'd call myself the night owl. So usually I like to work when everyone is in bed so that no one is bothering me. So 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning, that's my time. You have to know, as I said, what works for you. Will you be willing to wake up at 4 o'clock? Will you be willing to wake up at 6 o'clock? There is going to be some sacrifice involved. So that to manage your time. There's also a technique that I've been reading about, the Pomodoro technique. And what it suggests is that we get easily distracted. So maybe you can just put the timer on your phone. Hence, you're putting the phone away just to use the timer for 25 minutes and see what you can read and do in that time. So it kind of releases the pressure of sitting down and being overwhelmed with a lot of things to do. So you can break up what you have to do into blocks. And if you are the super organized person, you can also consider putting together a timetable. Just like in prep school and primary school and high school, you had that timetable. Create that timetable for yourself so that you are slotting, you have a date with yourself every day and say, this is what I'm going to do for school. So you ensure that you always have that contact. So that's my little tip that I'm working on myself. So it's not easy, but you have to take a step and you have to start.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. She's not going anywhere because I asked her to remain as a co-host with me as we move into the next section to speak with some more recent people who were undergraduates and who have now graduated. So they are going to share with us about their experiences. I just wanted to emphasize before they do, what you were essentially speaking about, Yolande, was the importance of being organized. And that's what we would say. Be organized. This is your job for the next 3 years if you're undergraduate, or the next 5. And it really helps if you approach it just like a job. Use whatever technique. I just got a new one that I will Google after, but use what works for you. I'm up at 3 a.m. a lot of the time because I'm a morning person. Don't call me after 8 because I'll be sleeping so that I can wake up at 3 o'clock. So do what works for you. Okay, so we're moving on now, and I'm hoping that we have online 5 recent graduates. We should have Zoe, Giovanni, Siobhan, Shoshwana, and Courtney. If you guys are here, could you unmute your mics and just say hi?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So why don't we just go? I'll just call your name, and I'd like you just to say
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to call you guys, and I'll just go down the list and ask each of you just to introduce yourself, first name and last name, and then just say one quick interesting thing about you. So, and then we'll move into my questions for you. So could we start with Zoe?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Zoe Howell. I currently work at Sagicor Life as a refund transfer assistant. And my degree that I got at UA was in psychology.
Awesome. Thank you. Giovanni? Giovanni, are you here? Not hearing him. Siobhan?
Hi everyone. I don't know if you're hearing me.
We are, yes.
I'm Siobhan Lewis. I
Yes.
graduated from the University of the West Indies with a BSc in marketing. I'm currently back there now pursuing a Master's of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. I currently work at Digital Jamaica in the capacity of a marketing exec, mainly in charge of digital products and stuff like that. So in this digital era, it's what is needed now.
Yeah, very on point. Thank you very much, Siobhan. Shoshwana, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Morning, everybody.
Yes, tell us about you.
I'm Shoshana Perkins. I studied management studies, specializing in marketing and with a minor in social psychology. I currently manage SMS within the International Business Department at Digital Group.
Could you tell them what SMS is?
SMS would be just a regular text message that you get to your phone, but I manage the business aspect of it. So I interact with like Facebook, WhatsApp, so international bodies.
Okay, thank you very much. And Courtney, do we have Courtney? Okay, so am I
You don't
missing?
have Courtney, but you have Rushanette Dennis.
Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so my name is Rushanette Dennis. I currently work at Consolidated Bakeries, and I am currently working. I'm the brand rep for Miss Birdie. So anything along that line, Miss Birdie Crackers and so on, I manage the campaigns and all of the marketing activities for that brand.
Perfect, thank you. And is that my complete list then?
Yes, it should, because
Hello.
Courtney's currently in Dubai. Oh yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
Giovanni.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully everyone is hearing me. My connection is
Yes.
pretty bad. Okay, I'm Giovanni Koot. I studied marketing and did a minor in accounting at my time at UWI. Currently, I work at Kingston Wharves Limited, where I currently do logistics.
Okay, thank you all for introducing yourselves to us. And yes, you can get a job after UE, and apparently very interesting jobs. Okay, so I'm going to just ask, maybe just pick 3 people to answer, and then if the others want to say, they can always pop in. But the question I have for you is, what one lesson did you learn at UE that has served you well in your current career? So why don't I start with Siobhan?
All right, one lesson I've learned is stay true to yourself. Staying true to yourself, meaning when I started university at Western Union, I was coming from Kingston College. I was very active in high school. I was head boy, I was governor, I was president for a number of clubs and society. And while at UA in first year, I wanted to take a step back. I wanted to enjoy what we so-called describe as the university life, where a lot of us, that is going to the different Inti every Thursday, going to carnival, playing domino, socializing, meeting persons all over the world. So I did just that in my first year. And in my first year, I finished with a 3.0 GPA. Now, a 3.0 GPA is good. It's not bad, but at the end of the day, I realized that wasn't me. I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be involved as well. So I went ahead and I joined UESTAT, a club. I went ahead and joined UMA, that's the Marketing Association, that because of the degree I was doing. And I went ahead and joined Circle K. So I got back my involvement and everything. And in getting back my involvement, I saw where my GPA is from a 3.0 to a 3.3. And then eventually I graduated in my year group with a first class honors on top of marketing. So I'm saying, if you're staying true to yourself, you learn to balance everything that you really want in this world. So don't lose yourself, because a lot of times you go to the university and then we follow friends. So just stay true to yourself, know what you want, know what your goal is, and then what you want will come to you.
Oh wow, that's very profound. Following friends, yes, we do want to maintain our friendships, but it is so important to maintain that balance as well. Thank you. Let me ask Zoe, do you have any point? Remembering the question is, what one lesson did you learn in your UE years that has served you well? No.
Well, one lesson I've learned, it may not seem as a big lesson, but it's to basically just speak up.
Yes.
When you're in your courses and such, and you're going through school, you have to speak up if, for example, you're not understanding something, speak up to your lecturers, go ahead and don't be shy in interacting with them, asking for anything to clear up, because you don't want to go through your entire school career not speaking up and missing out on something where you could have just simply asked a question. And for me, it works in my work world right now, because if I'm in training or if I'm in meetings and everything, it's very crucial that we speak up. They encourage that now. So take my advice, speak up. If you have any questions, do so.
Ms. Hilton, thank you very much, Zoe. Ms. Hilton, you want to add anything to that as a lecturer student yourself?
Well, very interesting point shared by Siobhan and Zoe.
Yes.
Can identify with Siobhan and initially remembering as he spoke, my first year at
Yes.
UWI, where Thursday was admittedly the first semester integration. And no classes could be at 7 o'clock in the evening because I was going to go to integration. But sometimes these things happen and you still do what it is you know you're required to do. So for instance, I was doing that, but there's a beautiful thing called the Faculty of Social Sciences Honor Society. And in the second term, I saw that list with the 40 names and I was on it. And I thought to myself, imagine if I was doing as I should and really living up to my potential. And that is where things changed for me. And it wasn't that I wasn't doing well before, but that experience helped to change my approach. And so listening to Siobhan reminded me of that, and listening to Zoe and the importance of speaking up. It's your career, and forming that starts with your presence within your class, going back to presentations and being present in the presentations. It's a perfect time for you to find your voice, of course, in a respectful way. Ask questions. This is where you're here to learn. So learn to speak up, and practicing those skills from now are helpful. And that's what Zoe really spoke to. It's assisted her now in her current role, giving her that voice. So whatever you learn here will not just stay within the UWI campus, but is what you take with you for life.
Yes, thank you very much for that. And I really want to emphasize what I heard coming out of both of them, but particularly Siobhan, was the whole idea of setting targets and setting goals. And I heard you say that as well. So once you do that, guys, I really want to emphasize that. That's very important. What do you want to be? You have to decide that for yourself, and then the rest will follow. All right. So I wanted to mention and to ask another set of questions related to groups. Working in groups is a part of the UE experience. You're going to find that in almost every class that you are on, that you have been in. So I wanted to ask, let's see who I've not asked. Shoshwana, tell us a little bit, what would your tips be for working in groups, which you know is something you've done a lot of at UE?
Hi everyone. For me, working in groups has been somewhat of a hair pulling experience, right? So I'm saying this because most people don't like the idea of working in groups. But for me and my wonderful bunch of friends, and I call them friends because we were group members and now we are friends. Three of the major things that I would really share would be, one, find your footing in the group, right? So you should know what your purpose is in the group first. Second of all, you have to stick with the task at hand. Don't assume that all work should be done by one specific person because they have taken on the position of leader. And third of all, try to work as a unit. And I'm going to say that because my group, we were like a unit. What I could not do, the other team member was able to do. And we became so interrelated that we became almost like a community. And we were inspiration to other persons that wanted to really understand how to really effectively work in groups. We went through the storming, the norming, the performing, etc. But at the end of the day, we all found our footing. We looked at the task at hand and were able to work together as one unit.
Thank you very much. That's a biggie. Working together as one unit, also knowing who you are. So we spoke earlier about staying true to yourself. Some of us will be people who are great at finding information. Some of us will be good at releasing the tension in the room. Others of us are the grammarians. Whatever it is, find your fit in the group and stay true to that fit. Giovanni, is there anything you'd like to add on that question?
Certainly. My main tip would be basically to be open-minded to the ideas of others. Given that at times during group sessions, two varying ideas may come about. Actually, in my group, we actually had moments like, we call them Clash of the Titans. That was normally between Shoshana and Russian. where they would have they would have varying ideas, and they were just going at each other, going at each other until they just come at a resolve. So not because you may share a different opinion from another person in the group doesn't mean that you can't come together and agree to a point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just my 2 bits.
Okay.
So just be open-minded.
Just be open-minded. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's a challenge because you have such different personalities, but in the end, you all want one particular product. Rochelle, is there anything you wanted to share with us on groups, being a part of a group that you'd like to share with the incoming group?
Definitely.
Yes.
I think for me, going through university and experiencing different groups, I think it was very interesting to see the groups that didn't work and what was the formula for those kind of groups, and then the groups that actually work. Because for us, we did IMC together. That was how come we formed the groups and so on. And just like what my previous friend said, we really were different. Like we were very different. Like we said, Zoe did psychology. She didn't really speak much and so, but she was an excellent presenter. Siobhan is the kind who he will sit back and observe and so on. But then when he comes to presenting, he'd be such an excellent presenter and speaker. He would carry the group in that regard. Sash was like the person who just organized everything, like very good at organizing. Vani was the one with the technical skills, and Courtney just always added a flair to the group in whatever we did. And then like for me, I was basically always working with Sash. Like we complemented each other well, but we had to have a discussion in the beginning of the group, and what the discussion was really, because like he said, for me and Sash, it was a clash of a time sometimes. So we had a discussion from the beginning of the group and realized what our personality type was. And we said, even though our personalities are practically the same in terms of being strong-willed, and so we said, for the purpose of the group, we won't have arguments that won't be fruitful. So we had that discussion from the get-go, and going into the group, we always respected each other and each other's opinion, and we did not have like a discussion where it destroyed the group. It was always the benefit. And I think that discussion initially, and understanding that everybody had things that they could put to the group, I think that's what really kept us and really caused us to excel, because it's like for each of us being so good in our own zone, it just brought the group to a higher level, and we were like that group that everybody was looking at like, whoa. And like we're looking at it now, that was 2016, and now it's 2020, and we're friends. Like we're going every month, we're hanging out and so on. And I'm looking at that, and I'm just looking at it and saying, and like even in different courses and so on, because we did marketing, like we could bounce on each other for different things, even though it wasn't the same course. And I look at that and I'm like, we excel because of our friendship and because of what we did together. And I hope everyone can actually have that experience to see that group work is not the worst thing ever. But if you do it right, you can excel exceedingly. Because even for Chev, like like in one of those most terrible points of his life, like he came and did our final presentation. Like we were like, you don't have to come. Like we will carry the group. You don't have to come. But we were so surprised to see him come that day. Like that day, we realized that, whoa, like this is amazing. It was like a movie. But it was a great experience. And I just hope everyone, at least once in your life, can have a group experience like that.
Wow, I'm having goosebumps just hearing you speak about that. And I'm so glad to hear that powerful testimonial about what it is like to be in a functioning group. So guys, as you go through the courses that we have, you will certainly learn about functional groups and dysfunctional. This is a functional group, but it's not just a buck up. It's actually a functional group that worked at becoming functional you heard what she said, we planned, we set together, we recognized our different strengths and areas where we could complement one another. So it really worked because they worked it. So I really encourage you. You are going to work in groups. So the question is, how well are you going to work in groups? Well, we just have a few more minutes, and I'm going to have a exit question for all of you. And the question is about we've been speaking about class, etc. But UE is not just about, sitting in a classroom there or as we will be doing in the future, being online in a classroom. There are other activities, and hopefully COVID will not be with us forever, please God. So at some point we will be interacting physically and getting back into the space of our clubs in real time. So I'd like you to talk to us, each person, just briefly about what was your journey doing things? Did you belong to clubs, associations? Did you volunteer on campus, and how has that helped you? So anybody can start.
So I'll start.
Mm-hmm.
I was a member of more than 3 clubs and societies, including UISTAT. That's where
Yes.
Siobhan and I became friends. I was also a part of the UE Marketing Association. I was also a part of the Honor Society, etc. Taylor Hall, choir, so many groups. But the good thing about these is that they helped me to build networks that took me well into the work world. They helped me to form bonds with fellow students. It strengthened my resume because, as was mentioned earlier, you cannot just go with your academics and assume that will be impressive enough for any company. You have to also show that you are able to be a well-rounded student that can manage academics and extracurricular activities. So it strengthened my resume, and it helps me to get special opportunities for experience that I could apply to work.
Thank you, really. So balance, and I'm amazed you did so many, but you did and you survived. And as you said, it strengthened your resume.
With
Who's next?
first-class honors at the
All
same
right.
time.
Okay,
I'm
guys.
valedictorian.
Did you hear that? First-class honors. So it is not a zero-sum game. Either I study all the time or I have fun and do my clubs. We have a testimonial here of being able to balance both of them. And you did say you met who did you say you met? Giovanni in that setting. So in doing that, you really get to meet other people. Yes. Who is next?
I guess
I could. Oh, go ahead,
Okay.
Giovanni.
Giovanni, yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's Siobhan. So
Sorry.
I met her in UWSAT. UWSAT for me.
Could you explain to everybody what that is?
So
They may not know.
University today, the University of the West Indies students today, alumni tomorrow. So I really encourage all of you guys to check that club out. It's really an interesting club.
Society,
what we do,
not a club.
Yeah. Basically what we do, we represent the Vice Chancellor. So we are students that represent the Vice Chancellor on international events, regional events, local events, globally, all over the world. And in doing that, I got the opportunity to go to Belize to represent not only the University of the West Indies, but to also represent yourself because you have to bring brand new. You have to know what brand you want, what you want of yourself, and to carry that brand throughout your university journey. And by just doing that alone, I've met a lot of friends, both regionally and internationally. So for example, when I'm ready to go to Belize, Trinidad, or Bahamas, I'm not staying at a hotel, I'm staying by a friend's house, because that's the kind of bond that university allows us to create. I was also a part of the UMA, that's the Marketing Association Club. And it's really important that the degree that you're doing or the discipline that you're studying, try to find that club and to see how best that club can help you improve yourself within that discipline. As Shauna mentioned, both herself and myself, we currently work at Digicel, and that club was sponsored by Digicel. So you can see where the linkage come back now in terms of building up your resume and meeting persons on the work scale. And last thing I will leave with you, my current fiance also went to the University of West Indies. She did med, so she's a doctor. So you can find your love at UE. So it's important to be open-minded, and your love doesn't necessarily have to be Jamaican. It can be a Trinidadian, a Bayesian, or anything.
Oh,
So,
chef.
so keep it in mind.
Well, oh boy, I don't know. I would have loved to have heard more of this, but I see they're back at the podium, which means that our time is up. But oh gosh, I wish I could just keep going on forever. But what a note on which to end, guys. You can find your partner at the UWI. I think we should have you as somebody in marketing. I'd like to thank everybody who has been part of this panel. I just got a WhatsApp from someone saying it's awesome that they really are enjoying it. So you have contributed greatly to the incoming class, and don't be a stranger. Thank you very much again, and back to you, Dr. Spencer.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, thanks again. Bye.
Take care.
Response. It was really rich. I must tell you that had I known that my presence at the podium would have signaled the time, I might have come back a little sooner, but I too was enjoying it. In fact, students, I hope that your academic journey will be as rich as that engagement just now. I had some takeaways. I hope you have your own takeaways. My takeaways were: one, speak up, and two, be yourself. I thought those two were excellent nuggets. The other thing I learned too was that I've clearly been mislabeling myself as a morning person, because I've insisted that getting up at 6 a.m. makes me a morning person. Dr. Crick just indicated 3 a.m. is what makes you a morning person. For some of us, that's still night. But a lot there, a lot of food for thought. And in fact, one of the things that came out was the expectation that you will be able to navigate this online space and to navigate virtual learning. So that then leads us into our next presentation, which I'm very excited about, because you are going to be expected to do different things, and so are we. So Mrs. Vanda Levy Macmillan will take us through a presentation on managing your online learning experience, a very important presentation. Vanda Levy Macmillan is also from the Behavioral Sciences and General Management unit. Vanda, over to you.
I want to offer you a few tips today that I hope will help you along your journey to reading a little easier. The first one, and probably one of the most important ones, manage your time, yourself, and your job. In other words, divide your time equally, so you give equal.
When you are submitting your work, so after you have done the group work and you're submitting,
Remember, timeliness is key. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mona School. When you are submitting your work, so after you have done the group work and you're submitting, remember, timeliness is key. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mona School. When you are submitting your work, so after you have done the group work and you're submitting, remember, timeliness is key. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. That I hope will help you along your journey to your work. So after you have done the group work and you're submitting, remember, I'm going to offer your first one today that probably one of the most important your journey to your work. So after manage your time, yourself. Remember, I'm going to offer your first one today that probably one in other words, your journey to your work. So divide your time equally, so you give equal amount of time to study to yourself. You have to let yourself down easy sometimes. You have to step back and equally, so you give if you have a job, you have to continue to do your job efficiently and effectively. If you have a job, I am a teaching fellow and I am also the academic advisor and counseling to the Mona School of Business and Management. I'm going to offer you a few tips today that I hope will help you along your journey to make it a little easier. The first one, and probably one of the most important ones, is to manage your time, yourself, and your job if you work. In other words, divide your time equally, so you give equal amount of time to studying, to yourself, because you have to let yourself down easy sometimes. You have to step back equally, so you give equal. If you have a job, you have to continue to do your job to yourself. You have to let yourself down easy sometimes. You have to step back. One of the other important issues is that attendance at class is very important, whatever the mode may be. For this semester, at any rate, I do know that the mode will be online. Whatever very cognizant of deadlines deadlines in terms of handing in assignments are important. Some lecturers take off deadlines and assignments deadlines in terms of handing in assignments are important. If you need some lecturers in terms of understanding from your family, handing in assignments if you need some that way, they like what you're doing. So if you need mom and dad to help you, older brother and older sister, those of you that have significant others, ask them to help. They will then understand.
In the vein of online, though, to suggest and to ask that you follow us in the various platforms. We are everywhere. The MSBM, you look for us as MSBM or Mona School of Business and Management. On Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Pinterest, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. Just look for Mona School of Business and Management, as well as you can just search using MSBM. Now, the next presentation is one that's very important because we believe strongly in innovation. Certainly the creative mind cannot be stifled, certainly not the Jamaican creative mind. And so the next presentation will take you through the Vincent Hosang Entrepreneurship Program, which is intended to unearth these ideas. So I'm going to invite Mrs. Ashley Rose Davis, who is the program coordinator for the Vincent Hosang Program, to take you through our presentation on that program. Over to you, Ashley.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm so happy to see that a lot of our students are able to log on. I do know that we may all have some internet connectivity issues from time to time, and with our new life online, we just have to pivot. Welcome to the Vincent Hosang Entrepreneurship Program. And as the pandemic affects us globally, there is a much greater need for entrepreneurs to assist in rebuilding the economy. That's you. Are you willing to answer the call, work on that business idea that you have been thinking about, and take that step in believing that it can be done? Anybody in here thinks that they can address any technical issues that we might be having, create new experiences of streaming things online, how to have more interactive classes, any new developments that you think you can have? Okay, think about that. Our program is designed to encourage the members of the university community to use their talents and skills to harness the ideas that can be grown into full-fledged operating businesses. It seeks to nurture the germ of new ideas for products. Apologies. So our program is aimed at encouraging you prospective young entrepreneurs to harness the ideas. We want to be able to allow you to develop profitable businesses, full-fledged profitable businesses. The overarching program is a more hands-on program whereby we host our flagship competition, which is a Vincent Hosang UE Venture Competition, more affectionately known as the UEVC. But we also provide advisory services post-competition. We don't expect that you know how to be business owners from the onset. We're here to assist you. The program is here to support you in your business endeavors. I'm going to play a short video that will outline what I have discussed so far about our program, our competition, and how we plan to assist you in your journey. Okay, so we are now accepting applications where you can apply singly or in groups of up to 5 persons. Applications are now open today, September 1. You're going to check our Instagram and our Facebook for our flyers so that you can apply and get in on this opportunity. As you would have seen in the videos, all applicants are provided with mentorship and coaching to assist in developing your idea. Yes, each group, each business idea that applies, you get an individual mentor to assist you on your entrepreneurship journey. During the competition period, applicants are also expected to attend our bootcamp sessions where we will have specialists in the areas of marketing, presentation and communication skills, venture financing, and corporate social responsibilities. We have fabulous partners from the public and private sector that come on board to assist you in developing your business ideas. All boot camps and support sessions will be online to observe our COVID protocols. So let's talk about the money. Our first place prize is $300,000. Our second place prize is $200,000, and our third place prize is $125,000. I know it might seem like it's a little bit of money for all that work, but this is your startup capital. This is what is going to get you off the ground. You're going to use your prize money to assist you in doing any more research and development that you may have, or just to simply assist you in building some software that you might need to assist you in getting further in your business. The proof is in the pudding. Hard work pays off, and having a good business practice will garner success. There are also two external competitions that our competition internally allows you to participate in: the National Business Model Competition and the International Business Model Competition, where our students can win up to 2 million Jamaican dollars locally and US $20,000. Yep, you heard right. You can win up to US $20,000. This is a wonderful opportunity. You will get a chance to get feedback from international entrepreneurs, international mentors, as well as some local specialists. So trust me, the success stories of the program are here. You just need to give me a call or send me an email. We are interested in hearing more from you, whether you're interested in the program or competition. You want to know if you can't apply this year, if you can apply next year, any questions that you may have, feel free to send me an email, call the office line, or send a WhatsApp message to 876-547-7876. I know WhatsApp is easier for everyone these days. And please follow us on our social media platforms. Instagram is UA.VC and Facebook is Vincent Hosang UA Venture Competition. Thank you, and I look forward to having you all this year.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Again, one of the more exciting initiatives that exists in university space, and it is right here in the Mona School of Business and Management. I just wanted to apologize for the video earlier, and the good thing about that is that we have an excellent version of that video, which we will send to all of your students on managing your online experience, because that's going to be a very important part of what you do. So look out for that video. We'll ensure that you get it shortly. We're going to go into some extracurricular activities because the ED mentioned earlier that it's a very important part of your journey, ensuring that you have the full experience. And a large part of that will also be what you do outside of the classroom. So we don't think that that should be diminished because of the COVID experience. So we're going to share with you now some presentations from some associations and clubs in the order of the Human Resource Management Association, followed by the Banking League, and then concluding with the Marketing Association, the University Marketing Association. So pay keen attention and get involved.
I'm Brad Hamilton, the president of the Human Resource Management Association of UA, and I'm passionate about developing people. I love to encourage people and I love them to make their mark on the society, so I enable them to do so. The Human Resource Management Association of UA, we are all about the love, we're all about the bonding, and we want you to feel welcome, and we just want you to be your best self.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yes, definitely.
So, you know, sometimes people say human resources boring, it's not something for me.
Yes, for the older people, but no, it's not. Let me tell you, I think I thought so at first, and even when people said that you really want to do HR, you know, you're a young man, you really want to do HR, I was like, I realized that it's all about the people.
Yeah.
So guess what? It's not all about the old people, but it's about everyone. Everyone can benefit from HR. because we all want to develop our skills. We all want a network of HR professionals to learn from. Because they will be interviewing us, they will be recruiting us, so we want to know what will impress them.
No, true. That's very, very true. But if some persons still believe, Brad, that you guys are having activities, it's kind of boring, there's no fun.
No, I would disagree now, because we have philanthropic activity, we have workshops, we have HR professionals who come in and tell us about the business environment and what is changing, what to expect, how to prepare ourselves, the skills that are needed, so we know what exactly to improve on and what to learn. It's definitely necessary, especially with this new era of transformation with COVID. It's important to be prepared.
No, that's extremely true. I'm happy to hear that part, because in the fun and activity there's also learning, right? And as you said, some of these persons will be persons recruiting you as well, so it exposes you to wonderful opportunities. Okay, so who should join this club?
Anybody can join HRMA. It's not only about the HR majors, but anybody. We have a treasurer who is a banking and finance major. We have a PRO who is a banking and finance major. We accept everybody because we know that everyone can benefit from self-development and everyone can upgrade their skills through HRMA.
Wonderful.
Greetings. My name is Shamar Magroda, the president of the UWI Banking League. The Banking League is a club that was born out of the need to get UWI students in the business sector to interact and socialize as they share ideas and work towards a common goal. Banking League has created partnership with financial institutions, thereby assisting in passing on invaluable information regarding the financial sector. Throughout the year, representatives from the various banking institutions make substantial contributions to the club's weekly meeting, presenting on topics relevant to the banking sector. Fundamentally, this is a part of the club's objective of promoting the holistic development of students through the engagement of different faculties, with emphasis being placed on financial education, professionalism, and ethics. The Banking League also provides our members with mentorship. We normally assign a senior UWI student to our new members so that they can have a smooth transition into the university. The Banking League also gets involved in volunteerism. We have been visiting several basic schools and children's homes, providing them with essential items. Each year, the Banking League partnered with Jamaica Institute of Financial Services to provide a grant to the most outstanding UWI students in the business field to ensure that students continue their studies. I implore you to join the Banking League to gain financial education and create a network for yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Antoinette Hines, and last year I had the pleasure of serving Team UMA as your Assistant External Affairs Chairperson. This year I have the esteemed honor of serving you as your brand new president. So I'd like to invite you all to stay in touch with our social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you aren't already at UMA_UMONA. I'm excited. You should be excited. Big Bad UMA, get ready. Comment down below what you're looking forward to most this year, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Wonderful. We're always engaged in a process of ensuring that your pathway to professionalism is clear. So I just wanted to say that this brings us to the end of this part of the session. You're about to go into your breakout sessions. I encourage you to get into the weeds, get very granular, get very detailed, ask every single question that plagues you. The anxieties that you have about your journey, be sure to have those addressed today. It's better to have them addressed now than to be in level 2 or level 3 and be confused about how you will complete. So I just wanted to thank everyone who's been a part of this process and to invite you to follow the instructions that you have received in your packages and join your breakout sessions, which will begin very shortly. You will meet your lecturers, you will meet the unit heads, you will have discussions about the process for registration, those who have started, those who have not started. This is the place to find out where to go. So happy academic advising, happy registration. And I encourage you to ensure that everything you do in this process counts. Make it all count. God bless you, and we will partner in this journey.